Okay, Panzer J back with the Italian turn, 12.6 in Operation Live and Let Die. So before we get into exactly what's going to be happening with the Italians, just wanted to cover something from Fighting Irish's last video, the UK-France turn. If you guys haven't seen that, get on over to his channel and check that out. He made some interesting moves this last turn that kind of threw a wrench in some of my plans. But when he got to the summary as far as IPPs for each country, he had Italy at 11, I believe. I have them at 13, and I believe I'm correct. Italy starts the game with 10 IPPs worth of territory, and the only territory I believe they've lost is down here in Italian Somaliland for $1. So that would put them at 9, but then they have Cyprus for 1, that's 10. Syria for 1, that's 11, and then Iraq for 2, that's 13. So I believe they should be at $13 right now. So on to the Italian turn. So we have first our tech rolls, and Italy has 2 major factories, so they get 2 tech rolls. We're going to go for long-range aircraft and improved construction, both of which I need a 7 or higher. Long-range aircraft right now sits at stage 1, and improved construction sits at stage 2. So let's go ahead for long-range aircraft first. Now this is a 7 or higher, and we got a 6, so we do not succeed there. And then improved construction is also 7 or higher, and we got an 11. So we got 1 out of 2, which honestly, that's outstanding for the way I've been rolling for tech. So we'll move improved construction up 1 spot to stage number 3. Okay. So now on to the purchases for the Italians. They have $21 to spend, and they're going to spend 20 of it. So we'll save $1. And for those $20, we're going to buy 2 colonial infantry for 8, a militia upgrade for 2, so that's 10. And then over here on the production chart, we're going to move both of our fleet carriers up to stage 2. That's $5 a piece, and that is the total of $20. So now those 2 fleet carriers are 1 stage away from completion. On to combat. So we have 1, potentially 2 combats. Now the potential one, and that's the easiest of the 2. So these 2 coastal subs here in Sea Zone 81, I'd like to have them convoy raid, but based on Global War 36 enthusiast's last video, he had said that convoy line here, that's worth, I believe, 6 IPPs, was maxed out. So he was counting the Italians from last turn plus the Germans this turn as having maxed out that convoy line. But the Italians and Germans were on separate calendar turns. So I believe that the Germans this turn, when they did 3 IPP worth of damage, I believe there's still 3 IPPs I can take off of that convoy line. So if I'm correct, these 2 coastal subs are going to move up 1 space to here and convoy raid in Sea Zone 80. Now, I'm not sure that I'm correct, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and let my opponents confer about that. And if they think I'm right and there are still 3 IPPs that can possibly be taken off that line, I'll go ahead and let Fighting Irish roll for those 2 Italian coastal subs on his next turn, his US KMT turn. So that's the potential 1 combat. If I'm incorrect and I can't take anything off of it, then these 2 coastal subs non-combat move into Sea Zone 80. Okay. And the one for sure combat we're engaging in is over here in Transjordan. So I'm going to bring an infantry and a mountain infantry from Syria down. Then all 4 of these aircraft here in Tripolitania, they go 1, 2. So that's 3 fighters and 1 tactical. So they're going in. And then we have some amphibious units as well. So this transport is going to go from 53 to 81, pick up the 2 men in Malta and drop them off. then this fleet here that's in Sea Zone 80, which consists of this, which is a battleship, a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, 3 destroyers, and 2 transports. One of those transports is going to come over 1 and drop off these 2 infantry and Tripolitania. And then the other transport, and I have a major dockyard here. I'm in the way there, but sorry, in Malta. And it looks like it's straddling both sea zones 80 and 81. So I should have the extra naval movement for all my ships there in Sea Zone 80 because of Malta. So if that's the case, the remaining naval transport goes from 80 to 50. So that's 1 move. 51 is 2, and down to 81 is 3. So that would drop off the 2 infantry in northern Italy. And I believe that is all I'm having go into Transjordan. Let's see. That fighter up in northern Italy can reach because it's at an air base. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we won't have that go. That's actually not going to. On second thought, we are going to have it come down. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and it has 1 movement left because of the air base it came from. So in Transjordan, Fighting Irish has 3 infantry, an AA, and an artillery. Also, I forgot my shore bombardment. So also here in Sea Zone 80, we have off of this fleet, a battleship, a heavy cruiser, and a light cruiser are all going to come over. So bring those over. And then also the heavy cruiser that's off of Rome goes 1, 2. So for shore bombardment, we have a battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, and a light cruiser for shore bombardment. Okay, and I'm offloading 6 units, so I would have up to 6 shore bombards, but I don't have that many ships. So I've got 4 shore bombards. He has 1 first strike because of his artillery. His 3 infantry are going to defend at 4, his artillery at a 3. His AA gets 3 shots at my 5 planes at a 3 or less. And all of my infantry are attacking in a desert, so even the ones that are amphibiously assaulting are all 1. So that's going to be a total of 8 1s I'm going to have. So let's go ahead and do the shore bombardment first. So I've got a battleship at a 4, and we rolled a 7, so that does not hit. 2 heavy cruisers at 3s. 6 and a 7 does not hit. And a light cruiser at a 2. There's the 3 I needed. So no hits on the shore bombardment. His artillery at a 3 or less gets a 9, so that does not hit. And then he gets 3 rolls with his aircraft at 3 or less. And we get an 8, a 7, and a 12. So both sides completely missed with all of their, first strike, shore bombardment, anti-aircraft. So now we're on to combat. So I've got 4 fighters at 6s. So let's go ahead and roll for those. 2 8s, a 7, and a 2. So a whopping 1 hit. And I would assume he would lose his AA. So that's completely dead because it's already fired. I get a tactical at a 7. A 4 gets a hit. I would assume he would lose his artillery because that is the next lowest defender at a 3. And that has already also fired for first strike. So those 2 are both dead. And then I have my 8 infantry, all 1s, whether they're mountain or regular infantry. So 8 1s. And we get absolutely no hits. So they all missed. So now he gets 3 4s. He gets any hits here, I have to take double casualties for my 6 ground units that are assaulting, amphibiously assaulting. So 3 4s. And he got 2 9s and a 6. So he missed on all of his as well. So now we're on to round 2. Now I don't have to worry about double casualties because the first round is complete. So we'll go ahead and roll for our 4 fighters at 6s. And we get 2 hits, 2 6s, a 10, and a 12. So he loses 2 of his 3 infantry. So he's down to a single infantry. My tactical at a 7 gets a 5. So that's it. So that's the last hit. I'll just go ahead and roll. I've gotten all my hits, but I know my opponents sometimes over-roll just in case I missed anything. So I'll just go ahead and roll for my 8 infantry that are still all ones because we're in the desert. And that was useless because we didn't get any hits anyways. But again, I got 3 hits, and that should finish off his 3 infantry. So his 3 infantry at 4s. And it looks like we got a 4, a 6, and an 8, so I suffer 1 casualty. So I'll go ahead and take off his 3 infantry, and I'll lose 1 infantry myself. So now Transjordan is Italian. Okay. So go ahead and put all those infantry in Transjordan. So that should be 6 regular infantry and 1 mountain infantry take Transjordan plus the planes. So of these planes, 3 of the fighters and the tactical went 2 spaces from Tripolitania. 1, 2. The other fighter flew from northern Italy 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the 3 of the fighters and the tactical have 2 movements left. The other fighter from northern Italy has 1. So that is it for combat. So for non-combat, we're going to move this motorized infantry 1 space to Cyrenaica. We are going to take this torpedo boat destroyer in 53, and I have a major port, so it should be able to go an extra space. Goes 1, 2 into C zone 80. And then the 1 fighter that flew from northern Italy, which just has 1 movement left, is going to fly to Syria. And the tactical and the 3 fighters that came from Tripolitania that have 2 movements left are going to go 1 to this sea zone and then 2 to Cyrenaica. So that should be everything for non-combat. So let's go ahead, and I got to move Italy up $1. So they should be up to 14. And we'll move the British down $1, and they should be at 22, I believe. So they should be at $22. So let's go ahead, and we have to do unit placement. So we are going to do the 1 militia upgrade is here in Syria. So take the militia off and put the 1 infantry down there. And then the 2 colonial infantry I'm putting in Cyrenaica. And that's everything except for the income roll. So we got to go ahead and roll for wartime economy. So right now Italy is at $14 worth of territory. Plus they have $2 for the Med being free of Allied warships. And I believe that is it for the Italians. Yeah, they don't possess Gibraltar or the Suez and no enemy warships. So they just get $2. So they're at 16 plus the $1 they saved. So that's 17. And then now let's go ahead and roll for wartime economy. Holy cow. There you go. That makes up for the tax. So that's another 12 plus 16. So $28 Italy has for turn number 13. So $28. So let's go ahead. 25. There's 28. And they had $1 left over. So that's a total of $29 actually altogether. Because they had 14 plus the 2 bonus, that's 16. Rolled a 12, that's 28, and the $1 left over. So yeah, $29 Italy will have on turn number 13. So now let's just recap a little bit what's where. For my opponents. So down here in Cyrenaica, we've got 2 regular infantry, 2 colonial infantry, a motorized infantry, 3 fighters, and a tactical. In Transjordan, is 6 regular infantry and 1 mountain infantry. In Syria is a fighter and a regular infantry. In C-Zone 81, we have a battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and 3 transports. And over here in C-Zone 80, I'm going to go ahead and take away this marker because Italy really doesn't have enough ships left there to justify that. So in that C-Zone, we've got 3 Italian destroyers, 2 coastal submarines for Italy, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, and 2 German regular submarines are in C-Zone number 80 there. And again, the only other thing is if I do have the ability to take 3 more IPPs off of that convoy line, I will go ahead and let Fighting Irish roll for my 2 Italian coastal submarines. So that should finish off Italy here on turn number 12, turning things over to Fighting Irish to finish up turn number 12 with the US and KMT. See you guys back on Germany 13.1. Okay, guys, Panzer J back. I gotta go ahead and add this on to my Italian video. So for some reason, I do not know why I'm having such trouble with my shore bombardment. So I was saying 3 or less for the heavy cruisers, and I believe 2 or less for the light cruiser. The battleship I had correct at 4 or less, but it should be 2 or less for the heavy cruisers and just a 1 for the light cruiser. Now it didn't end up matter. It didn't matter because I didn't get any hits, so it didn't affect the battle at all. I didn't take any casualties off because I missed all. Even with giving myself an extra 1 on both the heavy and light cruisers, I still missed. So it doesn't affect anything. I just wanted to clarify that the battleship is a 4 or less, but the heavy cruiser should have been a 2 or less for shore bombardment, and the light cruiser should have just been a 1. Okay? So just wanted to clarify that for you guys. Again, doesn't affect the battle whatsoever because I didn't get any hits regardless, but just wanted to put that out there.